Alright, so fellow Ghanaians, we are right in the studios of Rajab Media and Ashanti Media. What our wabaswa na wamia notification bell no say afina wa join here na yedin komusanza. We have a lot to discuss about, and we are here to give you updates about the missing containers here, Ira. And I brought you a video of that, and also now I'm here to give you another video. Now this video it is coming from yesterday we done the na former ECG boss Dubik Mahama Abekasa na ensema wakan no se container no enyera ye na container enni atabanya obetimi etu na on the line of the conversation now one obi one more conversation no, it was getting to a point and anka interesting no ka hono yaye de anka point bi yaye de san say and some what can say ya wo code bi e wo containers no ho a say frabruchi kra na eba code bi wo ho baby a container ne dru bia no wo boss a code na obehunu baby a container ne dru say ye de fa ha wo ba obehunu baby a container no ewo say ye de collocation bi na ye de afa wrong destination wo ba obehunu baby a container no wo any ade. So the question is adenti na omo claim say container ayera wo mo enkohwe sa code no na wo mo embo na wo kano straight I read for because straight say container no enyera container 1300 entimi enyera sa akodi baby according to Dubik Mahama what say akodi baby na omanfo nya so omobo no sobo ne sanse ebedu brebi kura na ECG hu no ma na omo nka ntere ne sanse wono ahoye boss no na womo peyi na firi wonti omo pede nsem bi ahyehye no konte no ebedu brebi kura na woni mo hwe na atode eden womo bo ne tiri so ka tere nse wono na ama containers ni na ayira yira no wo kan straight plane fast containers ayira no ya NDC for claims ayira no anyira no omo no ni baby ewo na ni bufo wan hwe obekire nyoma bi ni ade ebusu ye nkonko tie ne nsam ne nkomo na wodi ni
so ana we need to find out that meba lawyer no meba yes
oba be container ya label so ECG meboka
yes
ade na auction container enka container ni ya trust Ghana forces nkombe auction ana ye be so dear man,
no, because
equipment the material na wadi
yes
to me fanko wire ofi sound to me use wo area and the man na ECG using a high tension a high voltage and low voltage nyama and ya dia an individual betimi afa no aka se oye dey okwako use wo ni fie and then we be say question ki to e be say ECG ni ya buy
yes
cast house no so ya
yes buy
container ya trust Ghana forces go into UCL ube auction
the law allows it to be auctioned
munyina mu ye friends state agencies
the same state agency
yes maybe you not even prompt the state agency unim say we mama ka say bintia me ka dintia menam because ECG staff be brain na frame entana menam
Oma Fro said
we will cry do that to a papa to see afro.
Oda won kasa we my yeah min ko baby am okrum ha mi jae ejuma yi kokonsa bebre ba say wadwane na wayesi no kranya mi nim krum ha na me wo min ko baby
yes
eyawo ana eyawa ha misisia eyedie committee ediayemi.
Were you spoken to as part of investigations?
Obiam frame letter bia mame ho.
Committee now
no.
You are saying that
no. I'm saying that for a fact. Say me wo Ghana kroma.
But the committee spoke to directors.
Yes, of course. That's
and you were not part. Are you sure?
I am. I say maybe me Busumu ewumumu ena me mami wu ye 19th April. Me nye mami nka say me mami swear by me mami awaka baby. Me sero. Hwe committee bia mfreme. Ka committee ni frame anka unia me yi me yem because Ghana na me be so ye. Me ye adwuma yi for 2 years and 4 months. my record edaho. The company hasn't seen this kind of growth in 2 years and 4 months.
Yeah, but that record flies in the face of the revelations
by the committee.
In this
so that is why what were they supposed to do? And your friend,
are you sure they said he was not contacted?
Almost contacted directors.
I wasn't.
But but the truth of the matter is
but Yabomi Dean will report num. Nina make catch row. Who can full report? No. Who can executive summary? Nini na can be na Medina Betra no. Who can executive summary? Yabomi Dean will report num.
Let's check it.
Yeah, but Omo Dean will report him in summer. Omo kafa wo hono. Are they not true?
Okay. I'm tempted to respond. But sebi na se sisi ana asem na ede e free menum.
Yes.
We are now in the court of public opinion. Sisi I mean nim twede e hye no ntumo mo ordinam. Because there are very 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 possible answers to all of this. For share you started program you can some time ago me by na me nam around them watcher obi say oh ECG a loss reduction project. Over 6 to 7 companies are setting up factories for Krum Hasi. It was all about the revenue drive. You know also that meters have an expiry date. How can you ask people to manufacture meters and not have the requisite materials to install them? For another key issue that has to I was here sharing this. Nkrofoi is setting up sa factories. Say omo shey una ni omo akasa and as you see my revenue nkosro and I kaisa so who say meters and we had an ambitious drive, a very very ambitious drive, say he replacing almost 6 million meters okay mass meter replacement. Adia bakwa mechanism management on a situation be I do baba betum
yes.
And I be and I be situation.
Yes.
Mike Tyson will baby say you always have a plan when you enter a ring until you are hit on the nose. Obi abo hwe so that when it start to say wasu nyina ye basa me boni me bisa say sisi a me pie free say no be dia de bo me trima. And then the committee
no, but the committee about a conclusion based on something. Number one,
Obi.
I think we have to take it one after
Debbie, I don't agree.
No, there's a committee conclusion.
You cannot, Obi, you cannot as a committee, such a crucial matter. A person like a former MD, more can ask more report then the member says you're making more can ask on report. How do you say that you didn't contact that person?
No, Menka said name was some contact.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is in the report now, they never stated anywhere from my contact him. On Onswajiatum say he was not contacted. But we have to still interrogate the issue they raised about him. And only as some America.
And America say here. We can agree to disagree and have a hypothetical conversation around this matter. Fine, I'll agree.
Yes.
But assembly say sisia de omwaye no sisia me na me di assembly echi assembly na ye edi mi kan first things first fane say what talk free America amana bedru krom hase car no bedru krom hase e port untu ya duty car na ubeti maka say car na e wo ho say car na yira port na ehina na ama car na yira ehina na ama car na yira
nipe also claim on right
but by hina ho
our port ho
eni wo abedi wo
yeah no
enti aden kra na ye bo ECG kwadu ade
no
Debbie to me
I'm making the point
yes international logistics supply chain enya agro ubo container number sisi a obehu be bia container no fane say wa ship o kai free abrochiri ba
yes
ubo container ni sisi e be chiro be bia ship no any how many days e ba be dru ase. Beautiful thing is a container numbers in the BBR. What you say?
Yes.
Let's situate the container issue very well, because if you container issue no, and I didn't send me in ever. Because in seven to me they are all mood. The whole oh, so car procurement as bako and from procurement I think it's just basically two.
Yes, there is the containers, there is the procurement breaches, and then there is the hardtail in sense.
Okay.
Yes.
But you see, again, a lot of things were rushed. Ubusasa adi muhina no muni ne kasa. Bibi ti say hardtail no. Yeah, almost say the ICT friends say
director.
The ICT directorate was collapsed. Sana mukai. Our report.
Yes.
It was never collapsed. Did they speak to the director HR? We never collapsed the ICT directorate. We never did.
But maybe you find one after the other.
No, sir. I was just prompting one or two things for you, which are some levels of inconsistencies in what I have read. But fine. I felt, sir, look, if we wanted to do a holistic job,
they should have spoken to you.
They should have spoken to me, because situationally, all of these conversations would probably because Omanka Bibi, Tamamitika. Osi adewe inki ebo hu nkomo ye a mfitiase na enka bia ene ni say ye inki enru hakra sebi ye na ye nipa oman Ghana na yesom enye se ba be kata me bo apa yo bisu anase me bo ni bisu aden me di boni wo krom ha say pa on na se wo say ye bibi aden na me subject me who say ye bibi because ye de adwuma ma me say me nya ade ena me catch us say record of ECG. Oh, sisi akoba they say all of a sudden obiara fi say ECG na managing directors bi o bibia ye ka bibia sa do week no.
The committee obtained 2 letters dated 20th October 20 signed by Samuel Dubik Mahama and another letter 5th April 20 signed by Kwame Ajimanbudu addressed to the Ministry of Public Enterprise for assistance in securing approval for ECG to undertake procurement in accordance with established commercial practices. Prior to this, Mr. Kwame Ajimanbudu had on 20th May 2021 and 10th March 2020 addressed 2 letters to the Ministry of Finance seeking approval on the subject matter dated about.
Go and look for the definition of public funds. PPA is not blanket. Look for the definition of public funds. Whenever you are about to come into public funds, you have to do this.
Yes. But more argument, more contention, they say
you don't use it doesn't use public funds,
i.e., Sika from the consolidated
funds. You don't use government subvention to run.
Yes, but you don't have to go by
public procurement. But you have a procurement manual. ECG has a procurement manual. And the procurement manual is always approved by the board at the beginning of each year.
Yes.
So these are situational conversations. Obi, me ba se me ba be ka se ba. Me nyem twimi ma game because me who say when what's my fide na person.
I want us to do it chronologically.
Yeah, come and see. Assembly say yes container era. Let me speak English for this one, forgive me. A container cannot get missing.
Exactly.
It can be misplaced.
Exactly.
The only time you can lose a container is when it's lost at sea. Because when a container, look at the steps. GPHA is not a small entity.
Exactly.
Ghana Customs is not a small entity. I'm going to subject myself. No, wait. I will subject myself to whatever investigation. Because the truth of the containers must come out. Also, we limit the conversation as if ECG is some form of cottage industry. No. When the backstory is not done well, you realize that there's a lot missing in it.
Yeah.
And let me talk a little bit about the backstory to help you. There were containers under investigation, under LNR. There were a ton of containers under also PDS.
Yes.
And the whole PDS arbitration in Yamana Constitution. So you have to stay your hand, because when you take those things, it now becomes what idea where you are liable for what?
Yes.
It's payment.
Sure.
Now, remove that one to one side. Yes, they said there are some letters circulating that I wrote. Yes, I do agree to those letters that I wrote, because the only way a container can leave the port from what you have enacted is by, let's say, an auction.
Yes.
I want to take this medium to tell the committee, one, you have been very, very unfair to me. And you, as a colleague lawyer, must agree. They have been gravely unfair to me. And it was led by very, very prominent people. What did I do wrong? Will it be wrong for me to consider this a witch hunt?
On you?
Of course. What else?
Because you were not contacted.
Of course. What else? Because give the dog a bad name and hang it. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, but
because
if you were not contacted, now it is in the public domain.
That is it. That is the problem.
I want to allow you to also
Debbie,
give responses to some of them now.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
The import of this conversation is to arrive at decisions that are inure to the benefit of those involved in Ghana.
Yes.
So clearly, we started on that leg. Now, why GT say, hey, now go for me, tia penny, missing papayana. So I say, because Munim the anti-crabia, so observations that we know, Munim the anti-ABA could draw. I'm Pamonim
directors, directors, on board meetings. Directors in board meetings. And policy is agreed upon at the board. Only company secretary Kasai, because Sebi, only company secretary Kasaya, eh? And can say we will hold Mukano. Come on, can say.
Yeah, but almost say na moma 5 million every week.
Oh,
for clearance by more clearance.
Me see.
So the then MD was Dubik.
Yes.
Then
I believe so. By and large, but some of them.
About 2022, he was on the bed.
18 months.
Yes.
18 months.
Yes.
18 months.
Yes.
Now, Ejuma why 18 months no? Sebi. Me free September 25th. Oh, come back. No, said that was contract.
November
2024.
But try now. Said the then.
Who's I kept asking. Said the then why?
But the Mint Logistics, then you signed that contract.
Contract near a year, man. Month, ben year, man.
Or man stated in the report.
Let's verify all of these things. And ya hase na meba beka, and ya ha na meba be yi ano, and I may yi me when free asemu. Because I've already said, I will subject myself to whatever form of scrutiny.
Yeah, but they have said, in 2022, a decision was taken
in the same report. Omuka said Mint is known. Mint is known to them since 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Aha, was I MD in 2017?
Debbie.
Was I MD in 2017?
What else?
Well, I am falling short of feeling like it is what?
A witch hunt?
I am just falling short of saying it with my own 2 words. Because again,
no,
there are different.
Look,
listen. My nyai bibia. Hey, abaya sisa. Yenjina ye penokre wum. Obia be ye na juma. Obia ye juma no wa ya de ye mbona baso. You can see how the committee is struggling hard to pull ECG under the PPA. You can see it.
Yes.
Why? Because the principal.
Wait. Why?
Article what? 80 or what? 80 what? On the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana. Yes. Look at the powers of the Attorney General. If the Attorney General has written something concerning, okay, at the end of the day, if I have breached, who is supposed to sue? Who's supposed to prosecute?
The AG.
And if the AG has
the AG gave you that legal opinion,
whether the AG even gave it to me, gave it to Oman, or gave it to whoever, that is the AG's opinion. Because if in court today he wants to prosecute, let's look at the implications. Why are you struggling so hard, Bonnie Bear?
But it is okay, ECG limited liability company, but the sole shareholder is the government of Ghana. ECG Sika can be
a public funds. I try to
it
say
can
that.
be extended to say, sir.
We are lawyer.
Yes,
I say extended. We are lawyer. And in the PFM Act, in the all, it states clearly what public funds are. It is stated
and
clearly.
That is why you only go by your procurement manual.
Exactly. Me yen semnum. Me dia use me come any man masabetri. Committee no boni ben.
By your procurement manual says.
Okay. Asemia ukakofa kai settled by that.
Hold on. Lawyer, does the procurement manual allow for contract to be awarded without going through any procurement process?
So at the end they say, a year day now, meeting ECG, you can say have to contract in Kwana sign.
No.
It's ya then have to contract in Kwana bill. Why di? Unyanye di. She. Ye nyina ye ba besom o man. Ma ye nye sa. Sa give the dog a bad name and hang it enye.
What is your honest opinion on this whole missing container in Komoi?
Me say a container cannot get missing. It can only be what? Misplaced or at best lost at sea. And even when it's lost at sea, you will be notified. Because a container has a unique number that it goes with worldwide. International Maritime Ube container no baby obia. It is here no question is omubo container numbers na and now after physical count no muja you say you then yeka. So
under your watch containers behind your eye?
Me under my watch there was a problem about containers that had been auctioned. And me too one more letters.
It was auctioned
by customs, by GRA.
They were
a subject of an investigation. The LNR project was a subject of an investigation. Yes, and when the thing is a subject, and it was a Yoko investigation, Tina Yoko decided. Atoso.
Those were the only containers you know.
Maybe back to now could be
yes.
Now LNR deal PDS deal former President Kufuor first time they were preparing to send ECG into PDS.
Yes.
So there was zero investment into the company. Because you call PDS the investment remember. PDS lasted 5 to 6 months and then it was abrogated. Then we went for an election, came back, and then what? In 2021 there was a managing director. We were appointed to the board. In 2022, on the 13th of May,
you became managing
director. So, based on that, you take an assessment of everything around you before you start moving forward.
Yes, and the committee says, most of these containers were brought in during the period procurement
and then
estate and premises. Was that done? And what was the rationale behind the measure?
For a managing director to merge two directories, he needs the board.
Yes, that's true.
It was a board decision.
That's true.
I will not betray anybody if the committee failed to go to the board secretary to pick up the minutes.
Obi, but
you see, Obi, don't
inform the rationale.
To inform the rationale behind the decision.
Okay, Obi, let's establish 3 things enough. Which I don't like. We wanted to do.
Let me establish one final.
Yeah.
What will be your explanation behind this part of the report? Say when they went to the port to do the head count, ECG send you a list. Say omo containers a port a 2,462. GPH send you list. Say ECG containers a port a 1,132. Omo head count they saw say 1,134 in the ECG 2,462 against 1,134. There is a difference of 1,1328.
Okay, me say
1,328.
Me say a container cannot get missing. When you look at the report to a certain point, almost say call GPH. Did they go to the other terminals, the other holding terminals to check? Did they go to the customs terminal to also check? You are also coming up with another evacuation exercise, which you with your own numbers that you also count. Look, I'm saying this. Let's stop even debating this matter in the media space. Let's allow the state agencies to work.
So clearly, the minister
let them
just
put everything together.
That's all.
Yes.
That's the minister.
Because again, I've said it. Containers that are in the custody of Ghana Ports and Harbour and in the custody of, let's say, customs. What has that got to do with ECG?
Yeah, it has got to do with ECG because ECG awarded contract to two companies.
You see, you are missing the point. You are missing the point. Did the containers get lost in the custody of ECG?
No.
So that is where you start from. Don't digress the issue. We haven't taken custody. Former MD. ECG hasn't taken custody. If the containers were in the custody of ECG and they were lost, different ball game.
But the agent was an agent to you, ECG as a principal.
So the agent and principal role comes in here. The agent until he has delivered the container to your what?
To your
Is the container with you?
No.
So if the container is even missing in transit, it's the agent's issue.
Yeah, but you should be interested in what your agent is doing as a principal.
But the principal has never said anything to that effect. We are sitting down. We're told that containers are missing.
Yes.
I am saying a container cannot get missing.
Former MD, me person me chira say, obi aye suggestion bi wa. Enye de okay me baby am ni we adwan say committee na enya adaji. Anyway, very unfair.
Okay.
You got a wrong premise. Okay. Yes, you be subject for discussion. Very unfair. Idea wa enya then you have to simply understand that. Yes. On that. Yes. But the question say, what's up boy and come on say container be anywhere. Ayira. What one common simple. Yes. And what I suggested to the minister say. Na juma pa wa ye no.
Forensic.
Oh yeah. That's what you have said. If you no mama can't just say what you know of your say. Say mususu say me na mama container bi ayira dia. Mon frame because one frame na mo mama church me krata so no. Mudi me din so abasa krata nim. Sa dia say man ko sa dia na mo da ba krata nim. Forever and ever my name is in that report.
Yentia me kasa kran say staff no friend no mo friend no. ECG staff friend no mo friend. No problem no. Say ade ne eni ye ho. E wo ye ho e na nka ye buya nka ntiase wo ho. Ade ne yensa nsomu da.
But when national skills for the collaborators or tribune will be available.
Monsansom because our port ho. Our port ho no sika was some of the mama mo clean man musimu niska.
Na me catch so what toka. Na bedru ha na uniska.
Out the back
clear. Na e peja dia kosiwa. Se wo ya sika no aye den.
And adena
guaranteed
to car na wuntimi clear. Adena wo go to cars ni be count.
En komo bebre we chira. Another
MDB that's so, but the point is I disagree where you also say Yakofa Kaba. What the Kaba Kwaba won't be Jaka. What's a cry another Kaba? What's a cry another Kaba? What's a cry another Kaba?
What Mammy use hypothesis now, you know. O crack cano, why a calculation sick any? And one now by Yare. Do so Antebia now, Mammy Woo ye. Antebia sister or you see
Sikana.
So I started.
So that is where they stopped the 5 million
so I
giving to the unit
for that clearance.
Yes, for the clearance.
A bibia any street line. Enter me car say management a juman won. Utiwa on. E also tie kunyomo. Utiwa na dia be bo wasum. Udani hu say wo yes opeja wani asa bobiom. No amem. Ho na obe hu say ejuma na e dia ba no. Utiwa no start yare. Obi anti ase. Yes, you big man. Ubewu.
The former MD said anytime he is needed to provide answers, he is willing to avail.
BBC the paper bring privatization committee. On where we had the report.
Yeah, the report na come.
Obi am frame me.
And that's what I'm frame Obi.
And I was invited.
Me Obi am frame me catch
to come and give your opinion.
Of course.
On
as immediate pass.
Now, I'm afraid former minister for energy. I'm afraid.
I don't know.
I'm afraid any friends say former MD and so I mean. And no kodanche. One more Napodi, Afenyo market.
Hold me and Coco. I look at them.
Some politicians.
About container 7
MD.
Omu nimu baby.
MD, what we are member.
Ultimate
limited liability company ultimate responsibility.
MD Pacho and Franco to watch it. But what about Bush? Also says, please.
Where
let me change it. Naponi, Afenyo Crady. Kick them out of the equation. They are not part. It's
the report doesn't mention them. The report doesn't mention them.
Outside what the report, which may can be because we could pim. No doubt with that.
Sure.
And I remember siding with you. Say, many did and can you about tenants now? As more can no other for us. See, what's the minister say? Najuma power, you know. All money, papa, because as I see a pony, it is number 6. John Jinapoye Bo Abasu. Abasu body and say.
And I think for him, even a former board member of ECG, a former deputy minister of power with responsibility over ECG, and an Owabe minister of energy. He is probably the best placed to oversee this thing.
PPA Act in the buy and I can't say ECG, no, a board member. No, all board member only the obomo here. Almost mu throw letter call said they are seeking what? Clarity. What you say agrono tinti.
Okay.
Africa me start you.
Anything concerning ECG, anything concerning ECG, Papa yi odimu akotene on na why former energy ECG boss, managing director. Na ensema obeka no meka kire say the wodwane no wobehwe na hu na wono no nim bebia wotete enti wabekasa say container bia ne ho ayira NDC for any maybe a container no as I'm talking to you now. Or say NDC for any baby a container no na even say container kura ba yira na me pacho wodi container ba akokura every baby akopie baby kura bra wan kasa wo be bra 1300 containers wo mo ni baby a won to wo hwehwe container ne mra Dubik Mahama former energy against ECG boss and wabekasa no sense say wan kasa wotiri ho yi bone so wan kasa wotiri ho a ye beyi kwabo wan kasa no weni beba ho so se me nkɔ hwehwem no na edi wowu waso won de won tena se emma yemfa ensem si entototo no so ene adeade waba bekasa ebusua obaso na so kyerɛ wadu na subscribe to YouTube channel no like na fi sign share ma for from we treat any bente yemidin e de oduma nkomo